What's up, everybody? This is Jose from Slum-like.
Hey, Katie.
Alright, guys, we're about to cross the scary and impressive Skyway Bridge. Alright, guys, so we're heading towards St. Petersburg Beach. I extensively covered both hurricanes, and not even I remember which hurricane did what damage where. It was really like the double combination of destruction that came to this area. But it wasn't just the hurricanes. Also, a lot of things have been happening on a national level that have been scaring away international tourists. And now we have to deal with not only the hurricane damage, but also, well, the aftermath of political policies that affect tourism. And here we are today, looking at a situation here on the southern tip of St. Petersburg Beach. Everything was underwater. Storm surge flooding came through. Every last one of these houses had garbage piles in front of them because the water went inside. And even now, a year later, this whole area is still a construction site. See, guys, today all we have is a little bit of a high tide, and that alone brings the water just on par with the road here. Look, this is the ocean water. This dock here looks like it's in bad shape. I want to see what that thing floating is over there. This dock, I'm not sure why it's still open to the public. I think it needs to be closed. It's flush basically with this dock. The reason I'm scared is because I'm wearing Crocs. I mean, look, there's a Don Caesar, and here's high tide. And well, I guess that's really the problem with St. Petersburg Beach, is that it is very vulnerable to storm surge flooding. Beautiful may these homes be, we're very vulnerable to storm surge flooding. The water is very clear. You can see Sheep's Head right there on the edge of the water. Yeah, buddy. Now, there's still people building beach homes here, but most of the newer construction has to meet the current codes and requirements. This is what homes on this island used to look like, and this is what the new homes on the island look like now. It's a very different situation. One of the things that many people used to like about St. Petersburg Beach is the simplicity of it, like little beach cottages. But if the hurricanes destroy these cottages, the new building codes would never allocate for a structure of this nature. And many of the locals feel that that's eventually going to strip away the iconic vibe of St. Pete Beach, the little beach cottages. Many people here don't want St. Petersburg Beach to become Miami Beach. But unfortunately, there is still a lot of work to be done here a year later. I just saw a guy putting sunscreen on another guy. That boy ain't right. It's already starting to feel like Miami Beach here, though. This right here is what makes St. Petersburg Beach. Little historic cottages like these. Unfortunately, most of them suffered serious damage during the hurricanes, and they're quickly being bought up and replaced with what's literally across the street now. Historic and charming being replaced with huge and expensive. As a change taking place and basically sped up by the hurricanes, there were small and charming little cottages here on the island for under $500,000. Easier said than done, buddy. Even before the hurricane, there wasn't a lot of price appreciation here. Now, some people did abandon properties. Maryland, Kentucky, South Carolina. Yeah, buddy. The homie drove the bubble dunk all the way from Minnesota. I do believe that this area can recover from hurricane damages, but a lot of things that are happening on a national level, I don't know if this area is going to be able to recover from that, because with the Tampa International Airport being close to here, that brings a lot of international tourists to this area. There's properties like this that are clearly eyesores at this point. So yes, we had hurricanes. Yes, we can clean up after hurricanes, but the problem here now goes beyond the hurricanes into issues like the fact that people aren't spending money like they used to, and that tourists are kind of boycotting Florida. You still got a lot of properties like this, complete messes. Other places like this are completely still a mess since the hurricane. But for some people, a mess like this is definitely a deterrent of them wanting to come to Florida. Without a doubt, some particular properties still got a long way to go before they're scenic and ready for tourists. This cowboy's from Florida, not from Montana. Right now, this area is looking like the Lehigh Acre of beaches. Yeah, buddy. And it is true that some places out here look like the hurricane was just yesterday. Come around January or December, I would rather be here with pelicans and parrots than in Michigan in the snow. The question is, are people on vacation going to be okay with so much destruction? We'll find out soon. I do feel like by now, the city, county, whoever's in charge here should be like, all right, man, it's been a year. Why aren't you doing anything on this property? Because there's still a lot of stuff out here that looks like this, and I mean a lot. Notices have been served. Like this property here, it's so overgrown, it's starting to come up into the sidewalk. Unfortunately, some of the bars, restaurants, and places people like to enjoy haven't been reopened along the coast of Florida. And for some people, that's an absolute killer for their trip. You know, if the places that they're accustomed to visiting in Florida don't exist anymore. And, you know, keep in mind that the hurricane aftermath has also been accompanied with an economical crisis that we're in right now. People aren't spending money, people aren't traveling. So it's the combination of all these things together, you know. It isn't just that we had a hurricane here, it's that people aren't traveling anymore. Florida can recover from hurricanes, but during crises like the one we're in right now in 2007, 2008, it goes without saying that Florida and Las Vegas, places that depend on tourism, get hit the hardest. And well, here we are right now. And even parks, amenities, bathrooms, a lot of the stuff hasn't been built back. And in some places, it's taken years. Take a look at the Naples Pier down in Naples. That's been years since Hurricane Ian, and they haven't even got started on that yet. And then you got the thing that's going on everywhere in Florida. Right here, you got for rent signs for these beautiful cottages right here. What an awesome place to stay, right? Beautiful little cottages, they're for rent. And right next door, you got these for sale. A lot of people made a lot of good money with vacation rentals, but vacation rentals made people a lot of money here in Florida. But right now, vacation rentals just aren't what they used to be. Yeah, buddy. Now, as you drive north out of St. Pete Beach, tourists like a vibe, and there is no vibe here right now. I mean, there aren't people walking around, people in swimsuits, people playing music. This is depressing. It feels very dead, very lifeless, very soulless. It doesn't have an atmosphere, an ambiance, and that is going to be fatal for Florida moving forward. When you used to go to the beaches, people were playing music and the girls were out in thongs and stuff like that. Those were Colombians, those were Brazilians, and those people aren't coming to Florida anymore. And they were the vibe. They were what made this place feel hip and vibrant. Nobody's gonna come over here to look at old people walk their dogs. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is going to be a serious problem for this coast, that it lost its taste, its flavor. It's gone. It's completely lifeless. If you want to be positive and optimistic, you can, but the reality is, look at this crap. This doesn't look like a place I would want to spend my vacation. I mean, it's like, let's just scroll through here so you guys can just get a feel for this place. I'm just going to do like a run-on recording here so you guys can get a feel for how empty this area feels, how run down some of these neighborhoods are. Alright, so there's some rents over there, an abandoned house over there, for sale over here. And these are the type of places where, like, if it was pretty, if it was well kept, if a lot of people wanted to be in Florida at the moment, they'd get filled up with tourists. But right now, it's not the case. There's another for rent sign. And the vacation rentals were a huge money maker for people. What's happening in vacation rentals is because there's no more international tourists. See, a house like this, they could have got $15,000 a month for it. So it was very profitable for somebody to have a house like that just so they could rent it out. You look down the street, you got a for rent sign here and then 2 for sale signs across the street. I mean, look at this crap. Does this look conductive for a vacation stay scenario? Like, would you want a vacation where somebody spray painted "stay out" on the side of a house? I certainly wouldn't. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this crap over here, I mean, the southern tip of St. Pete Beach, yeah, there's tourists and stuff like that, but this crap out here, this does not invite me to want to be here. This is actually kind of depressing. Like, would you say this is uplifting or depressing, Katie? Depressing. This is a depressing setting, y'all. Look around. The coastline of Tampa looks like Lehigh Acres during the last recession. Like, most people aren't going to stay there. They're going to stay somewhere on St. Pete Beach. And I mean, look at this crap. There's like literally a palm tree on top of that roof still. Grass is overgrown. This one over here, this is starting to look like Lehigh Acres. Like, who would want a vacation here is the question. I'm gonna be real with you guys. This crap out here looks like something out of like a Zombieland apocalypse. Like, it does not even, I was gonna say Alabama, but that would be too good of a comparison. This crap looks bad out here. The amount of decrepit and abandoned buildings out here, it does not look inviting. Like, this does not look at that place where I would want to spend a vacation. It's just, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of like Opalaka during the last recession. Like, I literally feel like I'm in Northwest Miami right now. This looks worse than the hood in Miami. Houses for rent, houses for, like, this one's for sale. Look at this, guys. This one right here is for sale. Cute little house. You skip one. This one looks really nice. I love the tile roof on it. Then the next one is for sale as well. And if they're not for sale, they're getting remodeled. And you skip one, and then this one's for sale. So basically, on this street right here, 50% of houses, and this one says it's a duplex, it's a double. On this street right here, 50% of houses. Oh, women, sell those houses, women, go, 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 get them. Sell the houses, women, go, go, go. Go, sell the house, women. Go, women, sell the house.
Are you done yet?
Go, women, sell houses. So literally, guys, on this street right here, about 50% of houses are abandoned or for sale. That is bad. And I'm not trying to exaggerate. That's why I'm doing like a run-on recording, just so you guys can comprehend how bad things are. And you got people that are still doing like hurricane cleanup work. These people here got a camper in their front yard, probably because the house is still demolished in the interior from the hurricanes. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising that there's still hurricane damage out here, because hurricane damage sometimes takes years to clean up. What is surprising is the amount of people selling these houses. Yeah, so like, this is not what a coastline in Florida should look like. Crap is bad out here. And you know, I came with a more positive outlook at the start of the video, but the more I drive around and the more I explore, the more I realize how much of a screwed up situation we're in right now in Florida. It's one of those deals where, you know, perception versus reality, things are a lot worse than I thought out here. And the situation is even worse along the main streets. Those apartments and condominiums are facing the major roadways. But guys, this isn't Opelika or Hialeah. This is a beach town in Florida, St. Pete Beach. Alright guys, welcome to Treasure Island. It actually looks more like Trasher Island now. What's the point of fixing up your property and remodeling and bringing it back to life if there's no tourists? Welcome to Detroit, Michigan. So Katie, Treasure Island, one of your favorite places to vacation in Florida?
It looks broken down a little bit. It doesn't look as nice as normal.
It won't, not for a while. What is it that you personally like about Treasure Island, Catherine? Or should I say Katie?
Definitely call me Katie, not Catherine.
Alright, cool. What do you like about this place?
I like all the pirate stuff.
All the themes?
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely has
And the
themes.
beach is beautiful.
Facts.
And I do like the pirate stuff.
Like the themes?
Yes.
Cool. This guy riding a dirt bike along the beach? You're not allowed to do that. It's legal though. He's got tax for it. I didn't know you could ride a motorcycle on a beach bike on a dirt bike on a beach. That's cool. Well, there's too many rules and regulations. If you go to the Dominican Republic or Mexico, you can drive an ATV on the beach. Literally. You can do that. Can you do that in Florida? No, you can't. It's become too boring and overregulated. The old people have ruined Florida. Let me tell you that right now. You go to Mexico or the Dominican Republic and they got music. You can drive ATVs on the road. You can ride dirt bikes on the road. You can have so much fun in Latin America and the Caribbean islands. These old people have left Florida dead, bro. Like, they've sucked the life out of this state. Bro, why would you come here to see this hurricane aftermath when you can go to the Dominican Republic and drive an ATV on the road? Or you can go to Mexico and drive a freaking Honda 250 on the road, you know? They've ruined everything in Florida. They've made it not fun. They've destroyed it. Like, that's the other thing. It's like, they've turned Florida into like a giant nursing home, and not everybody wants to be in a giant nursing home. People want to have fun when they're on vacation. And let me tell you, you can have fun in the Dominican Republic. You can have fun in Puerto Rico. You can have fun in Brazil and Mexico. You come to these beaches here, bro, and these old people, they want the lights turned off at 9 o'clock, you know? Like, who wants to go to a beach town if it's that boring? And that's the thing about Florida, bro. Like, these old people have sucked the freaking life out of this state. As long as they got these old people sucking the life out of Florida, it ain't never gonna be crap out here.
Florida has become the state of get off my lawn.
Yeah, it's like that's pretty much what these old people have done, bro. Like, they've turned Florida into a giant nursing home. This used to be a fun and vibrant place up here before these hurricanes. This feels more dead than Fort Myers Beach. Doesn't this look like more dead and like...
This is lifeless.
It feels more lifeless than Fort Myers Beach out here. Look at this.
All I see is a sea of white people.
Old white... And that's a white woman saying it. Look, a for rent sign. A for rent sign. A for rent sign along the beach. Get the crap out of here, dude. Like, this should be desirable real estate. There should be, and this is what's worrying about Florida right now. One thing is the hurricane aftermath. I get that part. But there's a lot more than just hurricane aftermath going on here. I'll tell you, the first thing wrong with St. Petersburg Beach and this whole coastline here is this whole pay to park everywhere you go. And trust me, there's a reason why people are bailing out of Florida right now. Why would somebody want to sell their beachside cottage? Wrap your head around that. This looks like a scenery out of Baton Rouge or Lake Charles, Louisiana, not of a Florida beach town. This is Opelika Beach out here at this point. The only hope that these places have is that a rich guy wants to tear it down to build a McMansion. Never thought I'd say this, but it's actually starting to look ghetto and trashy along the beaches here. And you know what? I don't even feel bad for these people. Because when people from like St. Pete come over here, the police profiles them and bothers them. And now it looks trashier here than it does in the hood in St. Pete. So it's kind of like a little poetic justice that this happens to these people here. Not that I'd wish bad upon anyone, but the reality is that when people from St. Pete come over here, the police profiles them and bothers them. Now it looks trashier and more ghetto over here than it does in St. Pete. It's almost like, well, you get what I'm saying? Welcome to Hialeah Gardens Beach. Churrero de madre aquí. That's the life when you're living in the ghetto. I mean, it really does look ghetto out here. I mean, like, let's take this right here for a minute, y'all. Grass is overgrown, garbage outside, window shaker hanging out the window. It's the hood, dog, the hood, dog, the hood, the hood, dog. Riviera Beach ain't got nothing on this. You look down these streets and all you see is for rent signs. For sale, for rent. The whole thing's gotta go. Look, somebody's even blasting rap music. Like, it literally feels like a hood out here. What's happening, partner? Guys, just understand, this house right here looks like something out of Sebring, Florida. It's actually on the water. Its backyard is the water. But it's for sale too. What the crap is assumable flood insurance? Does anybody know what the crap assumable flood insurance means? Please break it down. For sale. It's really sad to say that the coast of St. Petersburg, Florida looks more decrepit and run down than the hoods. It's really a mess out here. Everything's for sale. Everything's abandoned, run down, boarded up. And again, what would be the point of rebuilding if you don't have tourists? Because if the tourists were coming back, okay, there's gonna be tourists back. So let's rebuild because there's gonna be tourists. By the way, right about now we're basically at Madeira Beach, so we're just slowly moving north as we film. Some people have rebuilt, and that's good. But again, where's the customers now? I don't remember. It's wrapped up in orange tarp and it's for sale. Welcome to the streets of St. Petersburg Beach, Madeira Beach, keeping it trail dog. What a mess. All these sunburn cream lotion down there. That's for sale. Everything's for sale. For the rednecks. It's getting so bad here that rednecks are starting to move in. That's how bad this area's got. Look, rednecks are moving in. Dude, it's like, look, I'm just gonna run this concurrently just so you guys can see. This one's abandoned and overgrown. Alright. And then the next one's abandoned and overgrown. I'm just gonna run it concurrently just so you guys can see like the scale of this whole thing. It's just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. The whole freaking place is a mess. What a nightmare. I mean, this area literally went from looking like a tourist area to looking like a slum. I don't know how that is possible, but it happened. And the crazy thing is, right now, if you had a rental here on the island, you could rent it for $1,500 and you might not find a rental. That's how bad things are in Florida right now. If you're gonna rent these out, you probably couldn't find a rental in Florida. Cute little house here with coconut trees. But who would want to live in this desolate scenery now? This looks like a hood. Man, look at this crap, dude. You couldn't rent this for $1,500 right now. Like, literally, you could start renting units out here for $1,500 and you couldn't find a renter. It's one after the other after the other. This looks like what happened in Detroit. Like, this is a Detroit in the making right here. Look at this crap, dude. It's one after the other after the other. What the crap happened to this place? And nobody's reporting on this. Nobody's reporting on this situation. This is starting to look like Detroit out here. I really don't understand why people aren't covering this as a story right now. I feel like a lot of people are just kind of overlooking how bad things have got here. But to me, this is a Detroit in the making. You would think that there would be a rush to get everything cleaned up and fixed up so they can continue making money with tourism. But that isn't happening here. It's bizarre. The most logical conclusion you could come to is that the people that own these properties should be in a rush to get everything fixed up, everything back to operation so they can keep getting money again. Why would they all just kind of sit on all these properties? Obviously, the insurance are taking too long. Obviously, a lot of people are realizing that tourism in the long haul isn't going to be what it used to be. There's a lot of combined factors that make this situation. But nonetheless, something ain't right. There's no doubt about that. Like, literally, you could walk to the beach from these houses. That's the thing, though. That's the way. What? You can literally... Behind those buildings back there is the beach. This is within walking distance of the beach. It doesn't check out in the least bit. You get what I'm saying? This doesn't check out in the least bit that this is in this condition. It doesn't make sense. And yes, we did have a hurricane, but shouldn't they be fixing it? If I owned this property right here and it was destroyed by a hurricane, I would immediately get to getting it fixed. Get to making money again. Why aren't people getting back to it? The insurance companies are taking too long. That's part of the problem. There's a few what ifs here, but if it was my property, I guarantee you, insurance company or not, I'd be on the phone with them people 24 hours a day until they got it going. You know what I'm saying? I'd find a way out. Dude, people are literally just trying to rent these units. There's for rent signs. Now this right here is the actual solution, but it takes a lot of money and not everybody has it. But wait a minute, if you own a house here on an island, shouldn't you have money? I think you should. Guys, the situation here on Madeira Beach is just mind-boggling. I mean, like I said, if I own one of these houses personally, if I own a house here, even if it was just an investment, and it got hit by a hurricane, I wouldn't just let it sit here and rot. I don't know what these people are doing here. Obviously, if you're litigating with your insurance company, you're not really able to do anything. And probably the reason this place looks like this is the insurance companies. And the insurance companies probably wouldn't give a crap about this place going to crap. If anything, the less... There's even graffiti on that one. It's like literally entire blocks gone to crap. This is like a Detroit looking scenery. It's like literally like house after house after house. It's not one or the other. It's like out here, looks like maybe 50% of stuff is just out of the... I've lived in Naples, Florida. I've been through dozens of hurricanes in my life. This is not what's supposed to happen in the aftermath of a hurricane. This isn't supposed to happen anywhere, especially not in a beach community. This is not what's supposed to happen in the aftermath of a hurricane. I've been through Wilma, Irma, Charlie. This isn't my first rodeo. I've been through all these hurricanes, and this is not the way the aftermath of a hurricane is supposed to go down. This isn't normal, especially on an island. Are you kidding me? This is an island. This should have all been back. It should be like a rush to bring everything back as soon as possible so they can start making money again. This is an abnormality, and this is not the way things are going to happen. We just drove down an entire street, and I think about 80% of these properties are still vacant. This isn't supposed to happen. This should be a rush to get these places inhabited again so they can start making money. This is odd. All right, guys, checking out from Madeira Beach. It really is heartbreaking to see this situation. All right, guys, today we're going to be eating at Raising Cane's. We've had these guys in Texas, Nevada, all over the country. And you know the sad thing about this situation here in Pinellas County is that in every intersection you got somebody who's homeless. White, black, young, old, male, female. On every major intersection of this town, you have somebody on the side of the road. Sometimes they're elderly, sometimes they're mentally infirmed, and they're out there sleeping on a sidewalk while thousands of houses sit empty in this county. It's really hard to feel sorry for rich people losing their vacation homes or their second or third beach homes. And here in Pinellas County, they don't wear body cam footage for nothing. There's no transparency in this county whatsoever. I think in the city of St. Pete, they might have it. Most of those buildings are investors that own 20, 50, 100 properties. But that's just the irony of the United States, that while some people have all these properties sitting idle, some people don't have nowhere to live. And those of us that do have somewhere to live, we got to work like slaves to hold on to it. And those rich people on the beach and the insurance companies would much rather see those properties rot than let somebody on the street have an opportunity to have it, or create a program where the government can subsidize it. They won't. You know, the government here, they know that there's a massive homeless crisis in this county. Do you think the city's officials are going to find a way to help, house those people and subsidize the housing? They would rather throw the money into the ocean than help people that need it. Look at this building right here. Look at how many homeless people are just here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those two are waiting for the bus. For every homeless person in this county, there's 10 empty houses.